Yeah, and thanks, Brady, and thanks for Gene and all the O'Reilly team. This has been just an amazing conference, as you all know. And also thank you for letting me talk. And thank you for all being who you are also. This is an amazing group. We had a talk prepared called Spatial Analysis in the GeoWeb, and we decided on the way up here to change it.
We sure did.
Jeremy is my colleague. And we're going to talk about GIS on the web, a big step. And so many of you make the distinction between sort of consumer mapping and what's happening in the Web 2 environment with traditional GIS, the sort of back office, analysts, serious geography types. And what I want to show you this morning is how these will come together. And based on a series of technologies that my colleagues and I have been working on for about 3.5 years. So erase some of that distinction and welcome to a different world. GIS is changing. It's changing, becoming much easier, more collaborative, and it's built on enabling tools like the cloud and web services and mashups and all the things that have actually made this conference so rich and interesting. Crowdsourcing, sharing, open data policies, all of those sorts of things. And GIS software, which is changing as well, becoming server-centric, easier, more flexible. Organizations are building on these tools, like Mark DeMulder showed this morning, serving up their authoritative source information as shared services, RESTful services that are standards-based and easily discovered on things like Google or Bing. And they come with easy-to-use clients like the National Map Viewer or open APIs that can be downloaded and customized to build interesting applications that run on anything, run on a browser, run on a cell phone. And we're going to show some of that this morning. What's emerging from this is a new kind of architecture, which is a massive network of distributed servers. So far, there's something like 50,000 of these servers running in authoritative source organizations, commercial, academic, government, that are exposing their information this way. And we occasionally see mashups on this and that. But what I'm talking about is a new infrastructure where apps can be built in government and business on top of that distributed environment. And there's lots of applications showing up, things like open government or transparency, citizen science, citizen reporting and engagement, and crime mapping. There's actually, if you search around, you know, thousands of these are now starting to show up with GIS through the web in cell phones like the iPhone, and we'll see others this morning. And LBS, empowered by authoritative source services behind the scenes. And crowdsourcing is increasingly become a major focus of this. GIS professionals are taking this seriously, like Mark talked about this morning, saying, how can we update the national map this way? Or in conservation or public works organizations, where are the potholes? Or homeland security, like that. As I mentioned, my colleagues and I have been working on this for a long time. This is called ArcGIS.com. We actually haven't rolled it out. It's about 3 weeks away. This is a system that allows our community, and there are millions in this community, to be able to share their maps and apps. They can just drag and drop them, put them in the cloud. This is the Amazon cloud. They can share it, then they can discover it, what other people have. They can mash it up, and they can do it through any kind of device that they care to have. The central focus of this system is a map. And so most of you are used to maps, consumer maps, we all know, easy to pan, zoom, and so on. But this map is different. These maps have lurking behind them the data model and the symbology of the map, and in some cases, analytics. So when I share my map with you, I'm not simply sharing the picture, but what comes with the map is all the geographic knowledge that's there. You get this idea? So if I share my map with you, you can throw my data away and plug in your own data, and voila, I've got your cartography or your model or your analysis like that. Very powerful idea. So good maps like this require good base maps, very good base maps. So we've been building at the same time as the technology and the website a whole host of base maps, some of them community-based, like the topographic base map we're working with USGS and cities all around the world to build. Other ones, authoritative source, street maps, imagery from multiple sources, including Digital Globe and Geo-Services, Bing Maps, the OpenStreetMap, which is an amazing activity, and then thousands of thematic maps coming from authoritative sources. I'll just drill into this one map because the topographic base map is 17 different scales, and people like City of Washington, D.C. took their GIS data, downloaded a template, poured their data through it, and uploaded the tiles. And so did New York, and so did Philadelphia, and so did Portland, and so did San Francisco, and so did Hong Kong, and so did and USGS and EPA collaborated with us to build that scale, and other ones for the entire globe. And Spain and Portugal and others are doing it. This is a free and open base map. So what is this system? It's some maps that are authoritative, coming from authoritative source, that are open, that you as developers or entrepreneurs can look at and use, that are transactionally maintained, not just a picture in the sky. There's apps that I can download for my iPhone or my browser. I can share them. Some are free, some are fee. And then there's this sharing environment. And rather than talk about it, I just want Jeremy to actually show it.
All right. Thanks, Jack. So I'm going to give you a little tour of ArcGIS. ArcGIS is now an online system that spans maps and applications and people, most importantly, geographic information. Everything I show here is built on services. These services that are either in the cloud hosted by ESRI, or actually, most importantly, services within individual organizations like the EPA, Washington, D.C. They're publishing out their geographic information, and this lets you build maps with that. So let's just take a look and drill in through this site. This is the web view into that online system. And as Jack said, it all starts with the map. So we can look at a series of these maps. Here's a New York City map. It's got beautiful cartography. You can zoom into multiple levels. You may want to go to a map in San Francisco. This map, again, has multiple levels of information, so I can zoom way out to the region or way back into the city. Now, if I zoom in even closer, if I move over to Golden Gate Park, for instance, just like Jack said, the city of San Francisco has pushed their geographic information into these tiles. So beautiful, beautiful map showcasing these trees. These maps are a place for you to showcase your geographic information. So it's not just a base map, right? What's important is the stuff that you put on top of it. So in this case, this is habitat zones for the Tennessee River Gorge. These maps, not only for viewing, but they also describe themselves. So if we look at these maps, I see information about it. I give a chance for the community to give back information. But most importantly, I see the services that make up these maps. These are very important because most of you are developers out there, and you can use this information to build your own view into this map. Now we can make a map ourselves. It's not just viewing existing maps. I can start a map from scratch, or I can pick an existing map. So I'm going to drill into the Washington, D.C. map here. I'm going to zoom into the foggy bottom area. Actually, like Jack, I also like trees. And I've always had a passion for trees. So I'm going to find some trees and add them to this map. So I could search within ArcGIS.com. I could search across the open web using the Google Search API. Very powerful. I can also just work with my own individual GIS server. I'm going to go ahead and search ArcGIS.com for tree. What I find is Washington, D.C. tree inventory. This is actually published by the city of Washington, D.C. This is a service that they're running that's live and out on the web now. So I can, drill in and see the status of each of these trees. But even more important, I can zoom in even further and actually get the what each tree is as I'm around that area. So okay, so I've created a little mashup. Now what I want to do is save it within my own group. So I'll go ahead and save this map. Oh, I forgot to log in, so I need to log in.
So he's making a mashup, right? He's not using JavaScript. He's just took two map services, put them together. Now he's saving that, giving it a name, and uploading it back into the library of maps. So he's just playing with maps interactively from authoritative sources. They could be Bing maps, they could be DC maps, they could be any maps. I mean, I want you to fathom this because I don't know if you know. We have 300,000 user organizations. One of those is USGS. There are tens of thousands of these services now available through this easy-to-find maps and mashups. And these are all open standards-based stuff, right? So you can mix it up and use it in various ways.
So here, this map, I just went and searched for the most recent maps, and here it is. If I look at the details of this map, again, I see the service information. Right now, this map is only accessible to me. Only I can see this map. But that's not really very useful. I want to share it. I have many options to share. I can share it so that anybody can see this map, so you can embed it in your website or tweet it or whatnot. Or I can share it with a particular group. Group is a way for you to work with members in your community that you know and trust. I'm going to go ahead and share this with everyone. And now this map is open and accessible. So now that it's open, let's look at a different way to access this map. So I'm going to start up the iPhone here. All right, and what we have here is an application that we'll be releasing that works into this ArcGIS system, and I can navigate. I can see my favorite maps. I can go and navigate and search maps. So I'll just go ahead and search for Foggy. If I can type, I just got this iPhone yesterday. Foggy Bottom Tree. So I found me one map, that one I just created. I can see information about that map, and then just open it right up. Pretty cool, right? And if I was in DC and I said, locate me, I could follow along and see each of those individual trees. Now, I have all kinds of tree books at home. So I would love to actually go to DC and be able to walk down and say, that's a pin oak. This is great stuff. Okay, let's look.
What about my Google phone?
I
John Hankey gave me this for Christmas. Cool phone. I'm not biased. Does it work on this?
It will in the summertime.
Okay.
And that's 4 weeks till we release, not 3, Jack.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So let's look at another client that I'd like to show you. That's Explorer Online. So we have a set of APIs, and one of our APIs is an API for Silverlight. Lets you work with these map services. And so we've taken that Silverlight API and we built this application. We call it Explorer Online. And actually just open up that map right there that I just saved, and I'm viewing it within this application.